Apparently today being the 16th of October is John L. Sullivan's birthday. John L. Sullivan, famous L. Sullivan. You've heard Tyson Fury speak about his lineage as a world champion going back to John L. Sullivan, aka the racist bastard who simply wouldn't fight anybody black, absolutely refused to. But it is what it is. It was a different time. Let's excuse him. That being said, John L. Sullivan was born on this day. That day, of course, being the 16th of October, just in case I don't post it today, in 1858 in Boston to Irish immigrant parents. The Boston Strong Boy was the first great American sports idol and is widely recognized as the last heavyweight champion of bare knuckle boxing under the London prize ring rules and the first champion of the gloved era. Is that all they write about him? They don't want to go into too much detail, do they? You know what I mean? I don't idolize the guy. You know what I mean? Just another racist, really.
Have you froze? You froze.
Ah, not really!
We've had a great pre-sale, we've sold out the signed copies. Mate, listen, if you haven't bought my book, Relentless, let's get it. It's really, you know me, I very, very rarely will I blow my own trumpet. It's a really good book.
We're really looking forward to that. 2 weeks today. Can't wait. Really can't wait, mate. World of Fury.
What's going on there?
What is going on?
I mean, it's going on there, right? I mean, right, let's just, so, either Deontay Wilder has just vanished from the earth and just don't fancy fighting anymore, or his advisors have done the worst contract in boxing history. I mean, it's just expired. Right? We're in a global pandemic. I mean, look, how can you, I don't know. So are you telling me that you've done a contract that doesn't protect yourself against force majeure and you no longer have a rematch clause? It's just expired. I don't believe that Shelley Finkel and the team have done that. But then Aram and these guys are just going and saying, bye, it's expired. And Shelley's coming out going, oh no, I hope we can do the fight. Why don't you come out and protect your rights? Say, no, you signed for a rematch, here's the contract, we're having it. It's nice, oh well, we'd still take it. But where's Deontay Wilder? I mean, let me tell you something now. When Anthony Joshua lost to Andy Ruiz, there was not one day that went past that he did not think about avenging that defeat. When Dillian Whyte got knocked out, and I know he was only down for 8 seconds, right, to Alexander Povetkin, as soon as he got out of the ring, you saw it. I want that fight. All he's thought about since then is winning that rematch. So, what on earth has happened to Deontay Wilder? Are you telling me you don't want to avenge this defeat? Are you telling me you don't want to be king again? You don't want to be champ? You're going to go out like that? And by the way, if he is, no problem. No problem. This is a tough, brutal sport. You make your money and you want to get out, good luck to you. But some people are made of different stuff, right? And the people that I know, AJ, Dillian Whyte, these people who suffer defeat, they want to come back. And they won't rest till they get revenge, or at least attempt revenge. I just can't understand. I don't know. And what's with the silence? You froze.
Since February, we've spoken about it loads, but about him, Wilder being quiet, not a lot coming back, but all kind of things are pointed towards what's actually happening now, like it not happening.
Listen, if you don't want to fight again, or you don't want to fight, you don't want to try and win your belt back, each to their own. I've got to say, right, the best thing that happened for AJ was Tyson Fury winning. Because I believe that in that team, Tyson Fury, MTK, Top Rank, Warren, John Fury, whoever else is in that team as well, they all want to fight AJ, right? They all believe they can beat AJ. The other mob, they never wanted it. And I can see it now, and it's only like, it was so frustrating at the period where they wouldn't even have a conversation about fighting Anthony Joshua, right? But this just goes to show me, like, and I believe that, even if Wilder would have won, I don't even know if he would have got the AJ fight made. But I know we'll get a Fury fight made. Because different characters, I just don't understand. How can you have a contract that's just evaporate? How can you let a contract expire and evaporate? Do you know how much pressure I was under when AJ lost to enforce that contract against Andy Ruiz? You can read all about it in my book, Relentless, which launches on October 29th. There's a big chapter on it.
Cheers, mate.
I didn't sleep for weeks because they tried to get out of that rematch, right? And I would not accept it. I fought tooth and nail to make sure that AJ, I wouldn't let him down. And he wanted that fight more than anything. And if he would have turned around and I would have said to him, the only way we can do that fight is if you fight for nothing, he would have done the fight. So I know people say, yeah, but there's no gate. So, mate, alright, so there's no gate. Do you want a rematch? Do you want to win your belt back? Or do you want to let it expire and never fight again? Never fight him again. He can't be taken seriously again if he comes back and has a 10-rounder You lost your throne. Do you not want to fight for it anymore? Again, maybe he goes into the wilderness. I like to think that I'm a good electoral thinker. I know exactly what's going on. But none of this makes sense. But we worry about our own business. I'm just fascinated to see that play out. I'm just waiting for a statement saying, we have a contract, we're enforcing our contract, and that's why it's next. And Wilder comes out and goes, right, I'm fighting Fury, I want my belts back, I want this. But, I don't know, strange.
What do you think, if you were a betting man, which I know you kind of are, what do you think Wilder will do?
Well, if he's not, you know, if Fury no longer has a contractual right to fight, he's going to have to fight Loma, or fight someone, I don't know. He may not fight again. You know, if your heart's not in it, and you've made the money he's made over the last couple of fights, I wouldn't hold it against him, would you? I mean, that's a tough sport. Maybe he don't want to be a fighter, maybe he's not, you know, maybe he's lost the love for it, and that can happen. I just can't make it out. So I didn't think, I don't know.
But his name,
That happens to you. Knowing fighters like you do, right? He lost, and by the way, you know, the defeats in terms of AJ against Ruiz and Wilder against Fury were quite similar, right? I think you could argue they were humiliating, right? Especially AJ, because everybody thought he was going to win, you know, and in front of sold-out Madison Square Garden, it all come crumbling down. But do you know any fighter, is there any fighter that you know that from that defeat, really, you know, I'm not saying AJ and Dillian are special individuals, they're just fighters. Do you know any fighter that wouldn't have just been thinking every day about revenge and getting that rematch?
yeah, but we don't know that he hasn't fought that.
But they're not exactly showing, like, trying to fight for it, are they? I mean, we haven't even heard from him. And they've let the contract expire if that is the case.
Yeah, that's the bizarre part, let that expire.
But listen, ultimately, I'm talking as a fan now. None of my business. You know, and I've just got a lot to say about Wilder. I'm just interested, like, to have a chat with you. Like, I mean, I can't say it's like having a chat with your mate in a pub, because we'll go to a pub with you. But, you know, you need to get on me.
No, why would you go pub with me?
Because I think you're a prick.
And
Oh, what was that? What's that? Why did you just roll up your sleeves seductively?
have you taken some sort of pill or something?
Never mind a Zoom, mate.
So yeah, anyway, coming on to Tyson Fury will, by the looks of it, return to the UK for the first time in quite some time. He'll fight in December, by the looks of it.
Maybe.
What?
I'm not so sure.
Why?
I don't know. I just think, I don't know. I think it's you know, I don't know the situation, but I don't know.
I'm only going from what Warren and Arum and Fury are saying.
They've got to get the money together. I don't know. And who are you going to fight?
What about the names that he's been linked with, the Caballeros,
Caballero's not going to do any business. But listen, if he fights Michael Hunter or
Hunter.
Rivas is a good fight. Who's the other one I was thinking about?
Was Charles Martin's name mentioned in there somewhere?
Martin's alright. I mean, yeah, Charles Martin. Hunter. I think I'd love to see Hunter get an opportunity. You know that when we were doing the AJ fight between Hunter and Reese, and AJ approved both, and we chose Reese. It's a good choice. So yeah, I just can't see him. And listen, he's just beating Deontay Wilder, so he don't have to have a war. You know what I mean? He can have a little fiddle around if he wants. Just don't get beat, because we got to beat Poulet, and then he's on.
So you don't think it's necessarily a done thing then, that he's going to be fighting in the UK this year then?
I'm sure that's the plan, but I just, you know, I don't know, it's not my business, but I just know the conversation comes of, where's the money coming from? And if you don't fight anyone of note, how do you generate money? But maybe he just wants to run it, maybe he's not bothered about money. I don't know. It's just difficult at the moment, there's no gate.
I mean, if you were him, would you just sit out and wait for the thingy fight, the AJ fight?
If he wants to stay active and he wants to fight, I'll fight. But he may only want to fight for a certain amount of money. And that's going to be very difficult. But I don't know, it's not my business. I mean, it maybe he just wants to warm up for AJ.
Have you rescheduled your date with Frank Warren?
Not yet, no. I will do that. We'll get that in the diary.
Okay. Has there been any conversations with Team Warren or Frank or anyone? No. Okay. That's a tick. You've not spoken to none of them? No. So you've got... let's do a little run through your shows coming up.
Okay, so this Saturday, Lewis Ritson against Miguel Vasquez, Kez Ashback against Michael Lee, Eddie Scottney, Thomas Patrick Ward, Joe Laws, etc.
You guys see the sweat, you see the work. You know what I'm saying? We got a nice circuit in here today. Circuit training, different dumbbells, bow suit, ab work, leg work, you know, jump work, plank work, all sorts of work, baby. We out here, getting in.
Let's read this article from Steve Kim. I found it because it was retweeted or well, it was retweeted, yes, and then retweeted with a comment from Michael Montero, an associate of Steve Kim, and I think he implies that Steve Kim is going with Lopez. He's going with Lopez for the upset. So I haven't read the article, not one single word, and it's kind of small. I don't know if I enlarge it a bit. Let me see if I enlarge it a bit. Let's see what's up. Yeah, is that better? Maybe a bit more. Nah, let's go down a little bit. You know what I'm saying? All right, so let's try our best with it this way. I'm gonna have to underline certain things, right? So underline certain things so we can see where we at. I do that in yellow. I use a thin line, which, well, actually, because the background is white, it's better use red. Use a thin line. So we're about here. Okay, it's gonna be very thin. It says the moment has finally arrived. Through years of conflict and agonization, individual paths to titles, and finally a global pandemic, on Saturday, Vasily Lomachenko and Teofimo Lopez Jr. will step between the ropes to battle for lightweight world titles from all four major sanctioning bodies at the MGM Grand Convention Center, Las Vegas. In Las Vegas, ESPN and ESPN Plus, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. Alright. It says, it's hard to overstate what this fight could mean, both to the fighters and the sport in general. Lomachenko, the number 1 pound for pound boxer in the world, arguably, against one of the fastest rising fighters in the sport in Lopez, with stakes that couldn't be any higher. And to that you must give Lopez credit. Okay, anybody else, and nobody would pay that much attention, but because of all the noise that Lopez made, people paid attention, and they want to see whether he can prove it, or whether it's all bluff and bluster. So where were we? With all due respect to Devin Haney, the winner of this fight will be seen as the unified lightweight champion of the world. Not undisputed though. That's what you have to notice. He's trying to be coy there. You know what I mean? Trying to be clever. It's not undisputed, but unified. We already have a unified champion anyway. I mean, Lomachenko's already a unified champion. The question is he undisputed? So don't bother state the bleeding obvious. Trying to be tricky, play games. Let's move up a little bit. Let me clear that. And then we can move up a little bit. Alright, let's move up here. Go all the way to around there. Right. So that will bring us back here. That doesn't mean the stakes for each boxer is the same, as each fighter takes this fight at dramatically different points in their respective careers, despite it being the 16th pro fight for both Lomachenko and Lopez. Really? I didn't even look at it that way. So they both had 16 fights each. Intriguing, huh? Alright. For Lomachenko, a win would further solidify his claim as the best fighter on the planet, and I'm guessing some people want that to happen because they will look at it retroactively I should say, and say that compared to Floyd, he did this, so Floyd is nothing compared to Lomachenko. We we're going there anyway. You know what I'm saying? That's the end goal, really, for a lot of Lomachenko fans, the racist ones in any case anyway. And I'd say that they are the majority. It is what it is. For Lomachenko, a win would further solidify his claim as the best fighter on the planet, while there are several other boxers who can also rightfully make that claim. Canelo Alvarez, Naoya Inoue and Terence Crawford. Strange that you should put Canelo Alvarez and Naoya Inoue before Terence Crawford. But we're speaking about Steve Kim. Yeah? Among them. A win of this magnitude would further set Lomachenko apart. A victory over a gifted young foe who is 10 years his junior would be a significant statement, as he would add another well-known name to his resume at the age of 32. But that's respective though. What has Teofimo Lopez done? To be honest with you, he shouldn't really get that much credit for this fight. It's just because his father made a lot of noise about it and a lot of us believe that he can do it. But this statement here is false, as he would add another well-known name. That's why they can't sell the fight in England, right? They couldn't give the, well, they could give it away, but they nearly couldn't give it away in England, okay? And it's free. The fight is free for a reason, right? If they could make money out of it, they would, okay? Let's not act as if this is an act of altruism. You know what I'm saying? The truth is, not many people were into Lomachenko like that. I'm not sure. Shouldn't his countrymen really pay for the nose to get the fight? But anyway, there's a pandemic going on. All right, so where were we? Yeah, we were at age 32. So we're gonna go down. When it comes to Lopez, the victory will prove that he isn't just a talented fighter with tremendous upside, but something beyond that, a star. How many other boxers at just 23 years old? You know, we forget that. He's 23 years old, who claim to be the unified champion of the division and accomplish it by toppling an elite boxer in the process. In an age in which many fighters are guided carefully to world titles and cling to them with second-rate fights for too long, Lopez has taken the road less traveled. That's true. If he gets to his destination, the takeover, as he calls it, will be complete. Alright, so what's the prediction then? Let's see. Did he make a prediction? Because that's what we came for, right? Let's see. Can Teofimo Lopez back up his father's predictions? Can he indeed? While Lopez and Lomachenko face off in one of the biggest title unification bouts in recent memory, the individual who might be on the spot most might not be either of the boxers stepping into the ring. That mantle belongs to the man who in many ways spoke this fight into existence, as he boldly proclaimed that his son, while he was still just a prospect, would topple someone who is considered the best boxer in the world. My problem is that guy though. That guy really, there aren't many redeemable qualities with that guy. That guy is very irritating, extremely irritating. You know what I mean? I don't know what it is with these type of gentlemen, but they look like they were doing drugs and they found a way out of it. I don't know. You know what I mean? They just look like fucking drug fiends. And you know the other one I'm talking about, but you know, their sons love them, and obviously they've contributed very well to the success of their children, so it is what it is. So, moving on. Where were we? We're here. Back when Lopez was just cutting his teeth on top-rank undercards, some of those shows were headlined by Lomachenko. Teofimo Lopez Sr., in the eyes of many observers, committed the cardinal sin of not only failing to bow down to Lomachenko's greatness, but being downright disdainful. He had the temerity to tell anyone who would listen that his son would defeat Lomachenko sooner rather than later. Now, as a day of reckoning approaches, does the father feel any extra apprehension? Not at all. I don't see anything I should be nervous about, he told ESPN. My son is very prepared for this fight. I've never seen him as hungry as he is right now. Well, you would say that, wouldn't you? I mean, I'm saying I don't want to do the old Jay-Z quote. You know what I mean? Moving on. It says Lopez Sr. has described this fight camp, which was once held in familiar territory for the Lopez clan in Flemington, New Jersey, as phenomenal. You can just imagine how you pronounce that word. Phenomenal. It was phenomenal, man. It was phenomenal. He has been backed away. He has not backed away from his statements in regards to this fight and how it plays out. We're going to make this easier than the Richard Comey fight, he said. I feel bad for Loma. He might carry off too. I swear, if these guys listen, I'll tell you what, right? This is the time when people actually stand up and get counted. You know, a lot of people weren't believing the Charlos. You know, we thought they were gonna come undone. There's a good chance that they could come undone. Now, I didn't think Jamel was gonna come undone against the Dominican fighter, but there was a good chance that Jamal could come undone, and both of them passed with flying colors. Okay, and they boast a lot and they talk a lot of shit. They think they're the best thing since sliced bread, and I think you got the same situation here. All right, it is what it is. It's a case of truly speaking it, believing it, and receiving it. But moving on, all right, it says for Lopez Sr., who actually wears a cap that says Nostradamus, oh for fuck's sake, corny as fuck. This vision began long before his son stopped the normally durable Comey in just 2 rounds to win the IBF belt back in December. He has been calling out Lomachenko for 3 years. I already predicted the fight's not going 6 rounds. And that's just the way it's going to go, the elder Lopez said. We've been right all these times. We're going to be right on this fight too. There's no way a 126 pounder is going to beat my son. It's just impossible. But that's not the point though. You see, when Lomachenko was fighting in the Olympics, he was fighting at 132 apparently. When he came into the professionals, he started at 126, and then he was surprised a bit. So, you know, that's why when people say like, oh yeah, poor Solido, poor Lomachenko, Solido came in overweight. The truth is, when he decided to squeeze back at 126 so he can bash some people up and get a belt in record time and stuff, you know what I mean, within 2 fights, and it didn't work out, it's simply because he drained himself to make that weight. That was one. Fair enough. I mean, yeah. He worked for him later against Guy Russell Jr., who also complained, mind you, about being dehydrated. You know what I'm saying? Because they weren't supposed to be. I don't know. Well, Guy Russell Jr., it is what it is. But, yeah, it was. But, he was fighting, apparently. One of the criticisms that they level at Lomachenko is that when he was fighting in the amateurs, especially before when he got the second gold medal, and his amateur record is actually quite good. We could read that in a minute. I think I might just put that together too. I have something on that, and when I looked at it, it's actually quite interesting. But that is by the by. The truth is, his record is like 132 in the amateurs, and if you're going by the logic, like he's a 126 fighter, and he's just, you might be making a mistake there. You know what I'm saying? People made the same well, he doesn't have power. But I was gonna compare him to Deontay Wilder. Deontay Wilder coming in at 115, knocking people. That guy, man. No wonder some people got excited about him. It's just that he was just so useless at everything else. He was atrocious. Damn mess. But sorry to take it there. Let's move on. Lopez Sr. is part Danny Garcia, part Freddie Blasey. Who's he? Don't know. With a bit of Bundini, Brown, and George Benton mixed in. But you have to give him credit. He has trained his gifted son from the very beginning and guided him to a world title in just 15 fights. That's something he forecast at the beginning of his son's career in 2016. Then he boldly predicted that his 16th bout would come against Lomachenko. Really? Ooh, it's a bit Nostradamus-y. When you think about it that way. But you wonder if his son fully on board with all this. At just 23, in an era when most boxers are judiciously handled and kept away from such stern challenges, Lopez was put on the very fastest of tracks by the father. You could say the same thing about Lomachenko when he came into the professionals, but of course we're going to look at his amateur record and give him credit for that. But people also make the argument, and some of the people who actually make the argument, I can't stand them, but it's true. When he was in the amateurs, he was fighting people that were probably less experienced than he was. You know what I'm saying? When you're fighting some poor kid from India, some poor kid from India, you know what I'm saying? with no infrastructure or boxing talent whatsoever. Bangladesh, Azerbaijan actually got boxers down there, you know. But you got like Kenya. And Pete said he's put a lot of people, they just added all together 320 God knows what fights. They didn't take any losses, it is what it is. Some people still fight them and lose, but he spent a great deal of time in those amateurs, right? He matured, he gained a great deal of experience. A lot of people moved on, he was still there. He was that motherfucker who never graduated. You know what I'm saying? Just stayed in school harassing all the fucking juniors and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you ever see that movie School Days? With that guy called O'Banion. You know what I'm saying? It was set in the 70s, you know what I'm saying? O'Banion or whatever. He never graduated, he just kept around, kept harassing all the juniors and shit. It is what it is. Moving on, right? Okay, so where were we? They're trying to be Debo. He was a Debo, the amateurs. But you wonder, is his son fully on board? Okay. I told him, hey, listen, can I do his voice? I told him, hey, listen, I'm all in. I can't do his voice, I find him irritating. I'm all in. If it comes, it comes, said the younger Lopez. That's how I look at life. If it comes, it comes. Whatever it is, whatever comes my way, we're going to make work. We're going to make things work out. Now it's here. The younger Lopez makes it clear, though, that while some observers will look upon Saturday night as a referendum on his father, this is about him and his career. I love my father. Let's outright say, I love my father, Lopez said, but it isn't about proving his prophecy. He talks whatever he wants to talk. He made this bigger than it needed to be. I think everyone needs to congratulate him on that part. But really, what it is just that he knows what I'm all about. He talks what he talks. He's very confident about it because he sees in me what no one else sees in me yet. The father has an unending confidence in his son, Not only will he tell you that his son will be the best fighter in the world pound for pound in the near future, he doesn't hesitate to follow up by saying that Teofimo will be the greatest of all time. Yeah, as in GOAT. I remember Mayweather. I am the G-A-O-T. GOAT. As or the guy who spelled slow. S-L-A-O. Slow. Alan Burbage. Alright, moving on. As you listen to him speak these words, you get the sense he's actually very serious. I could be a little bit more serious myself and read this properly, but we're towards the end anyway. Let's clear those little dots off, forgive me. Okay, so moving on, it says but before they start engraving Lopez's plaque in the Boxing Hall of Fame, he faces a far from simple task on Saturday. He has to beat one of the best boxers of this generation. Even with all the talking, the elder Lopez doesn't feel like he has added any pressure or given Lomachenko too much bullet board material. No, I really don't care about that because what I believe, it always happens, Lopez Sr. said. I have no doubts. My son has no pressure whatsoever. Once he's in the ring, he's a different animal. That's why I know my son is ready for this fight. There's nobody else that we have to fight. This is a fight we have to fight to get all the belts. Are you getting all the belts? So to be recognized as one of the best fighters in the world. That's why I have no doubts about this fight come October 17th. The whole world is going to know who my son is. If they don't know already, this guy Lomachenko, he's going to make us look good. And I can't wait. I told everybody, the better the fighter is, the easier the fight is going to be for us. Really? Alright, so is there anything else? Okay, it's a long article. And his pay here, I suppose. These betting odds. Alright. So, I don't see a prediction here. Does anybody... Okay, yes, let's go to the prediction. Let's skip all that other shit. Let's go to the prediction. How long will we be? 20 minutes already. Wow. On Steve Kim, for fuck's sake. Alright, let's read the prediction. I've been a believer in Lopez from the time he turned pro. Let's underline that. Let's start here. We're here, right? It's not just the skills, but also his highly underrated ring IQ and self-belief. There is this misconception that he's just a bruising, heavy-handed puncher, but he has the ability to lay traps and counter reflexively. There is no doubt in the greatness of Lomachenko, but he is not a natural lightweight, and while he's still very much an elite fighter, after a long storied amateur career, there are some signs of slight physical slippage. Many believe this will be the modern day version of Joe Calzaghe, Jeff Lacey. I don't think so, not in the least. But Lopez has many more facets to his game than a typical underdog going into a fight against Lomachenko. Lopez will find ways to touch and hurt Lomachenko, and ultimately he'll stop Lomachenko in the late rounds. I actually don't think it's going to be that late, to keep it real with you. There's a good chance that things are going to turn around so badly that Lomachenko might suffer an injury and quit on the stool himself, which would be very ironic, which would be no Maschenko, for real. That's how I see this thing could play out. It is what it is. But I don't really need to read all this, what to watch for on the undercard and all that kind of stuff, because it's just going to go on forever. I think the main event is what we're all concerned about. I can't even remember what's going on in the undercard, to keep it real with you, because this fight itself has sucked all the oxygen out of everything else. And we're all looking forward to it. It's like the real big event during COVID. You know what I'm saying? It's going to be very difficult for Gervonta Davis and them to match this in terms of authenticity. But I do believe that Gervonta Davis is going to sell. So alright, so that being said, thank you for watching this video. Have a good day. And as I always say, get rid of that. Goodbye.